What's going on? It's your boy FeddyMoe, and we back here again with another workout. This time in shoulders, and I'm training with my girl Big D. Out here at Stearns. It's gonna be a good one. Stay tuned. Alright, so our first workout, is gonna be medial delts. As a bikini competitor, one of the primary factors to winning on stage is creating that X factor. And one of those components at the top are creating the width of the shoulders, which is in the medial delts. When it comes to a female's shoulders, when creating that an overall look, it's not so much as a female should have like really bulgy front delts, but you don't want them underdeveloped. So we're gonna give the front delts some attention, a lot of attention. You're gonna see her doing a lot of raises in this workout, the side delts and in the rear delts. Her delts is pretty much balanced, but for her upcoming show, she needs to improve in her overall physique and her overall look. So this means her overall shoulder cap. So you'll be seeing us stimulate the medial delts a lot, the front delts just a little bit, and the rear delts just a lot. So our first workout is going to be side lateral raises. And what we're doing during side lateral raises is 15 to 20 reps, starting at the 15 pound weight. Once you get to the point where she can't do 15 reps, that's when the workout begins. That's when we stimulate hypertrophy. So now we're gonna actually start doing drop sets from that set. So only 15 reps, and I'll be helping her. We'll do a drop. We'll start at the heaviest weight, 15, and then drop down 5 to 10 pounds, 15, 5 to 10 pounds, 15. Keep her in that hypertrophy phase through every drop set. I think what's important about being a personal trainer is understanding your client and their personal goals and their personal issues within their body. You know what I mean? Because everybody responds to training a little bit differently. It's just like for this particular client that I have, it's like when I'm training her on certain days and doing certain things, I need to ask, how's your hips feeling? How's your arms feeling? How's your shoulder feeling? Because training needs to be, in order for her to grow, I need to keep her body as safe as possible, and the only way I can do that is by understanding the problems that she has until we fix these in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Serious question, drop it down on the comments below. Who has a better man bun, Feddy or Mulan?
So our next workout is going to be still incorporating the medial delt, but now we're bringing in the rear delt from two different movements. We're basically stimulating the medial delt all the way to the posterior delt, but in both workouts, you're creating tensions in one half of the other muscle. So the way to make that more sense is, while you're doing one workout, you're stimulating mostly the medial delt, half of the posterior delt, and then the other portion of the workout, you're stimulating the posterior delt and half of the medial. delt within these 2 workouts. So he's going to be doing some what you call V lateral raises at a inclined position. This keeps the body from rocking, so it puts more of the tension in the medial delt. And then she's going to do some T raises, T lateral raises, and stimulate the posterior delt. I think it comes down to when training rear delts is understanding that rear delts are surrounded by really large muscles. And one of those muscles are called the traps, and another one is actually called the rhomboids, right? So the reason I bring those 2 up is because the rear delts is attached to the same bone as those bigger muscles are, which means they all kind of help each other moving that bone in the same direction. So what this means is if you're using weight too heavy to stimulate your rear delts, what could potentially happen is you start to put stimulation in these bigger muscles because they obviously have to pick up the bigger load, right? So what you would want to do is lower your weight, increase your volume. This means increase your reps within that set, and the weight should be light enough that your bigger muscles don't feel it, but the smaller muscles receive the stimulation.
Why is the T1 harder than the V1?
The reason why they're the second set is much harder because just because these muscles are attached in different locations don't mean they all don't still work together, right? It's like when I have you to do the glute pattern, you stand on one leg and switch over and you're like, damn, this shit burning more. It's because you're still working one side, and when you switch over to the other, the reason I tell you to do the front more is because I want this to be partially stimulated. Reaching is hypertrophy. That way, as soon as you switch over to that muscle, you already put some blood into it, and now you get that stimulation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you've ever played Mario Kart, like, you know, on the controller, like, you're supposed to just do this, right? When I game, I feel like I'm in the game, so I'm doing all of this with the controller, and when the car jumps, I jump with it.
It's funny because that's why I turn my camera off. I play this game called Roller Champions. You like skating?
Oh.
You like on these skates, going walls and shit, and I find myself in my chair, almost falling out my damn chair because moving with the damn game. I gotta turn my camera off.
People are like, you know, it doesn't work like that, right? Like you're not supposed to do it. I'm like, it helps.
It helps.
Last thing.
I get sad when the workouts are ending.
Big D with the shoulders from the guys.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna be doing is Y, T, and like a backwards Y, right? So as you're laying down on the bench, here, I want you to come here for 10 reps, right? Keep the dumbbells what they call pronated, so your hands is over, it's an over grip, or yeah, I guess you can think of it as an over grip, and then come here, fly rear pec deck, and then under grip, right, in an inverted position. I want you to come here, elbows away from the side, 10 reps.
You might have to remind me.
Yeah, I'll remind you. So when it comes to doing rear delts, as I said before, the rear delts work in comparison or simultaneously with the traps and the rhomboids. What you have to be aware of is how the bones in the back versus what the bones in the arm are doing. So when you're stimulating rear delts, it's all about what the humerus is doing, because the attachment for stimulating the rear delts is on the deltoid tuberosity, which is on the humerus, the moving part, the moving attachment, and then the spine of the scapula. So only moving the humerus is all you need to do. You don't essentially need to move anything in the back. But see, what a lot of people end up doing is when they're trying to create stimulation in the rear delts, they end up feeling it only in their traps. It's because they don't have enough mind-muscle connection to stimulate delts. So that's why I always say keep the weight light when stimulating rear delts, and try to focus on keeping your back open and moving only the arm backwards to stimulate that rear delt. And you'll see it, because she's pretty lean. You'll see her the best that she can keep her back from opening and closing, which is scapular protraction and retraction, and only doing allowing the shoulder to move, which is shoulder abducting and shoulder adducting.
How do you feel?
I feel like it's a piece of cake. I'm hardly sweating. I'm not exhausted. I'm doing just fine. Flex off, ready? A 5, 6, 7, 8. He's intimidated, so he's not gonna partake in the flex off. I don't know if I did that.
All right, so there you have it. You know, we stimulate shoulders the way we should have. Like I said, we spent a little bit of time on the front delts, more and more in the medial, and a lot more into the rear delts. Overall, for a bikini competitor, it's not so much about having a big front side, a big bulgy front side, but you still want it to look pretty proportional when it comes to the overall physique. So we keep the stimulation up front, but more so in the sides and in the back. Stay tuned for the next one.